this week.
Right, yeah, because it is a
Wednesday.
weekly series.
Yeah.
I believe it's 6 parts. Yes. So
Yeah,
it will
and-
be finished by the end of the month. No, first week of July.
Yeah, a little
First week
bit
of July.
I
later.
think it's just like a 6-issue thing, right? You said,
But then it leads into his ongoing run on Action.
which is Action Comics, and it'll be Action Comics 1001. I wonder if that's going to be the numbering for it. I didn't
That's
know.
what the solicitations
Yeah,
look
I
like.
believe that's what it is. So.
Yeah. Well deserved. But I mean, for me, I remember the first time that I've read Michael Bendis stuff was Elektra when it was Marvel Knights. And that's got to be one of his really, really early works, right? And then after that, I read Spider-Woman, which was like a digest thing that I actually got from your store.
Gotcha.
An Image. But what was the first works that you guys have kind of encountered with Bendis?
Avengers Disassembled.
Yeah.
That's where you probably need to start with Bendis if you're going to do his Marvel run. Because prior to that, I wasn't even reading Avengers, but just his dismantling of the team and then reassembling them as the new Avengers and making Luke Cage relevant.
Yeah.
And creating characters like Echo and Jessica Jones and all of that. Like, that was like Bendis in his Marvel prime.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it wrong by reading Daredevil.
No, his
doing it
Daredevil was
wrong.
great.
Yeah.
Because he was in after Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
And that volume of Daredevil was just money from Kevin Smith to Brian Michael Bendis to Ed Brubaker. Like, it was all amazing. Some of the best scenes that you'd ever see in a comic were in that run. So
That is true. Some of that art, like, hot damn. Who is it? Bill Sienkiewicz?
I think it was Alex Maleev was
Oh,
the
yeah,
one who was
Alex Maleev,
doing
yeah.
when it was Bendis. I can't remember who took over when it was Brubaker, but again, that entire run, fantastic.
And of course, with you, Line, which one was like the first work? So you said Daredevil?
Yeah, mine was Daredevil. Or, like, a little bit of All New X-Men. I came into the comic book game a little bit
later.
Yeah.
He's also a lot younger than us. We could be your parents, actually.
In what world?
Well, okay, wait, hold on.
Maybe
so let's see.
maybe
I'm
it was
20
like 1440.
Okay, if I was... I'm 26, almost 27 right now. So
I'm
you'd
turning
have-
33 in 2 days.
I'm 32. So
Oh,
this is
man.
weird.
Yeah, man.
So, like, something really bad
Yeah,
has to happen to you.
Yeah.
in
We
order for me
would
to
have
be
been
your
babies
kid.
having babies.
Yeah, it's like immaculate conception kind of
Oh,
thing.
Lord.
And it was
Oh.
Lenny. Anyway, I digress.
I'm going to call you Mama now.
Yeah, Nanai, right?
Nah.
So first impression for the fact, like the first time that it was, I think it was ever on Twitter that, you know, Brian Michael Bendis was shipping from DC, from Marvel to DC. What were your first reactions?
Well, as a longtime reader of his books at Marvel and pretty much defender of him for a long time because of the infamous Bendis speak, which
Yes.
for the uninitiated is he kind of has this motif where his
Back
books
and
are very
forth.
wordy and there's a lot of banter and
Repeated
there's a lot
banter sometimes.
sometimes repeated banter, but while it's endearing to some readers and for some characters, there is a segment of the geek population that
They don't care for it.
they don't care for it. It is not a taste that they have acquired. So it's very polarizing when it comes to Bendis. Unlike Rob Liefeld, where people just generally hate him.
I love his pouches. And
First
tiny
person.
feet.
But Bendis, you could talk to two people. One person be like, he's a fantastic writer, and I love him, and he reinvigorates characters and makes them relevant again. Or his books are really redundant, and there's way too much dialogue, and he takes plots and drags them out too long, which seems to be a problem that a lot of big Marvel writers had for a while, like Fraction and Hickman. They're types of writers who like the long play.
Yeah.
So I can imagine with his Action Comics run, it's going to be a long, slow build to where he wants to go, and you're either going to love it and be along for the ride, or you're going to hate it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why it's kind of okay that he's doing a weekly series. At least, you know, we're quickly getting to the point.
But we're quickly losing money as well. So
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, what was that whole thing? I think I was talking to Shane. I was talking to you about the whole store situation in the store about the $2.99, $3.99 thing with DC, right? So,
Right.
I mean, if they were making this 1992 prices, I'd totally be down for it. But now
Yeah.
I'm a little worried because I
Yeah,
never
if it
picked
was-
up Action
If it was
that
too
much.
fitty a comic, but it's not.
It's not.
Whatever
know.
happened to holding the line at $2.99?
Yeah. I
Where?
I went
Did
on
you
a big.
guys practice that?
I went on a big joke, big rant about this a few weeks ago, but
Yeah.
Inflation sucks.
Yeah,
Man, they should deflate that thing.
No, we can't.
Apply a needle to it.
Well, the
Make
average
it pop.
price is now $3.99 American.
Yep. And then you've got
And
your like special issues like Doomsday Clock for what, $5.99?
Right, like
Yeah.
it's
I think Jeff
obscene.
is-
And then you have to convert it out to Canadian because a lot of these stores can't eat like a
No.
direct direct American price. So
Yeah.
like,
So maybe
it's
buy
brutal.
extra True Believers for your friends, and maybe that'll make up for it
right.
sometimes.
$1.25 of gold.
That's right. I know. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention this, but True Believers, Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yes,
That's what's going on right now.
This month, it's mostly True Believer, Ant-Man, and Wasp issues. Because every month it seems Marvel has a different theme based on
all
guess,
like the key issues.
Either if it's like an anniversary of a character or there's a big movie coming out, they'll release a number of True Believers, which are very cheap reprints for those.
And they're
who
very
do not
good
understand.
paper quality. It's
Right.
it's
It
the
could
difference.
be it's much better than a newsprint than some of these comics were initially printed on
No.
back decades ago.
You
so-
couldn't eat anything with ketchup if you were reading something from the 1970s, because then if you get ketchup stains on that, forget about it. It's going to melt on you.
pretty. Some of those books you gotta handle with latex gloves because they are so brittle.
Yeah, no, I'm not
So
down.
brittle.
I don't
Well,
want to
still,
touch.
you should not eat ketchup anywhere near your comics.
Well,
Yo,
don't you not
let
eat
some
ketchup
people
at all?
live,
No.
man.
Well, you know what? Okay, maybe it's that I'm weird, but I don't have ketchup with my French fries.
Yeah, you're weird.
Yeah.
Moving on. And
Who
you're.
are you? You want to wear?
We don't even know you anymore.
and you don't have
Wear
ketchup?
feces?
God.
Faces. I said faces.
Faces.
Oh, okay. I'm okay
You
with
want to
faces.
wear feces? That's another podcast entirely.
World star.
Six buzz for Canada. Six buzz. Six buzz.
Oh my God! Right.
What's that?
Don't worry about it.
We'll show you later.
Okay, everybody Google it now.
I know. Lenny, recap the story for us so far with Man of Steel.
Okay, so number one, we get introduced to this guy, Rolgal Zar,
Yes.
who happens to be named after the doctor that saved Bendis' life.
Yep.
So I don't know if he should feel good about it.
Honored?
But, honored? But, like, you
Sure.
know, he's a bit of a... No, I can just talk about my thoughts about him later, but he's like, hey, guys, Krypton has to be destroyed. They'd be like, the Council, including Sardath, that Green Lantern-looking ass
Yeah.
dude with a blue head,
No.
saying, like, Nabi.
What? Can't that?
Yeah, there we go.
Get
I'm
there.
terrible with names. He's like, we should destroy it. They're like, nah. And then we see Superman being classically awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Saving not one but two kittens and a kid from a
Damn,
fire.
that's a record. Two
yeah.
kittens?
And then
So
and then completely embarrassing Firefly and making a Batman joke too, because this is what Bendis does.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well,
and
yeah.
now, DC fans, you're going to know exactly how it feels like to read a Bendis.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like Bendis really gets it with, like, here's a really good Superman moment. So, you know, he trivializes the whole fire, and let's see. Superman seems to be sad about his family. Something happened to them. We don't know what. And then there's a flash
Nobody
of light at the
knows
end.
yet,
Issue
yeah.
1. Issue 2, Krypton explodes. Council be like, Rolgal did it. Rolgal turns out to be in a bar somewhere and and sees, like, oh, hey, there's a Kryptonian that exists. I'm going to Earth.
You know what? We were just talking about how Bendis kind of takes his time with the story.
Yeah.
And the way that you're describing it is just like, and then this happened, and then this happened. And
Well, you
He's
know, minus
really
dialogue.
fast-tracking it, minus the dialogue.
Yeah. There's a lot less dialogue than I'm talking about here.
Right.
Present day, Superman kicks Toy Man's ass, and Green Lantern be like, hey, what's wrong? Superman be like, nah, nothing. He flies away.
I'm okay, man. I'm okay.
And so, and then he's saving more people from these cases of arson going on in Metropolis. Issue 3. Rolgal breaks into the Fortress of Solitude, destroys it and stuff. Batman's helping investigate the arson case.
Yeah.
And there's a really good Batman and Superman moment in there. So Superman's
Did
just
it-
like hiding in the shadows.
Get you in the feels at all?
Oh, it got me in some feels.
Some sort of feels?
He made Batman say, "I'm Batman."
That was awesome.
Like, and like, a very non-Batman way, but it's like, you know what? I'm okay with you poking fun at Batman.
Do you know what I was actually kind of... I didn't know what to expect is because I felt like Bendis was the type of writer that did really good with street heroes.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know how he was going to approach this whole Man of Steel thing, you know? But I guess he's doing pretty good, right? Like, I mean...
Yeah,
I'm pretty sold.
Well, like, it's a new challenge, but then again, not so new because, you know, he's done big stuff before.
Well, he did the whole disassemble thing, sure,
Oh, yeah,
right?
no,
Yeah.
He's worked with Avengers books for years. He's been on some sort of Avengers title. I feel like the entire time he's been, well, at least for the last 15 years, of Marvel, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's not that he isn't capable of writing gods and monsters. It's just more he seems to be better suited to deal with the more grounded characters, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's sort of similar to Ed Brubaker. His Daredevil and Captain America runs were fantastic. His X-Men run, not so much.
Yeah.
He did that for the money, didn't he?
I think they gave him the
yeah.
opportunity to do it, and he didn't turn it down.
Well, how can you not?
Because
yeah, that money,
he created
though.
Gabriel Summers. Everyone, if you need someone to blame Ed Brubaker.
Well, what do you guys think about like his take on Superman so far?
It's been his Superman sounds very pure.
He's trying to roll back to
I think
basics.
he's trying to roll it back to like the emotional. This is essentially a god that was raised a farm boy in Kansas, who is still very emotional and clearly is dealing with something that happened to Lois and John Kent, and we don't know what, and we will find that out. But
kind of reminds me a little bit of what happened in Injustice. Do you think something like that pretty much happened?
I hope not.
No,
that's a hot mess, man.
Yeah, Bendis said in an interview, "Is like, guys, we're pulling your leg a little bit. Like, we don't hate them. We did something, but like, he's heavily implying they're not dead."
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
It looks like
say...
it looks like they may have been kidnapped, or for the betterment of your world and your future, they have to go away for a while. Superman, something like along those lines.
I would hope it's something along the lines of like, hey, they're capable. You know what? Why don't you loan these two from your family to do this adventuring? I'll bring them back like in 7 weeks.
You mean like Madeline Pryor and Cable going to the future?
And then you just see him with like a little John teddy bear, one of those
John
things.
comes back with a cybernetic arm.
Yeah.
What did you do to my son?
Lois has got to be
He got
okay.
badass.
Lois has got to be okay. I mean, another point there is that John is with him wherever they are, and there was a post that did reveal that he wasn't going to do something super drastic with Lois. He wasn't going to kill her off in like a horrendous way or anything. So
He's not going to fridge her.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give her superpowers? Hopefully not.
No.
We've been down that road.
We've
a
already
lot.
done that road
Yeah.
Maybe
twice, I think.
Maybe Lois Lane will be black again, forever.
Wait, hold on. So, guy comes in, says, "I want to take your wife and kid." Comes back, is like, "I changed their race."
Yeah, that's it. That's what's gonna happen.
You're welcome, Clark.
1004. No.
Bendis.
Or it's just
my
like they got killed off, but I found this alternate universe, Lois and John. So enjoy.
Yeah, I guess.
Rick and Morty by Bendis.
By Michael Bay and Bendis. No, okay. And what do you think of the whole like Rogol-Zar thing? I mean, we already had Doomsday.
He's
is
like
dude.
Smart Doomsday.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
that's
just-
why
That's
I'm
what
like
he
Doomsday
feels
Light
like.
kind of thing.
He feels like the God Killer in Thor mixed with Doomsday, and it's like, okay, we'll see where
Mixed
this
with
goes.
some sort of
but
cyborgy thing.
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the first time that he revealed this is the villain. Check him out, guys. Post a picture. It's like, okay, so muscular dude with scary mouth and scars. All right, yeah, I get the idea.
Good enough for me.
But like, this was apparently his attempt at like, hey, Superman doesn't have a lot of villains, so I'm gonna add a new one. And
Well, he does have. I would say he has a good amount of in his rogues gallery, man.
yeah, I feel like
Look,
that too.
DC has two really fleshed out rogues galleries, and
Yeah.
Superman is not one of them.
I guess.
You're looking at Batman's villains, and you're looking at Flash's villains.
I know.
They have the two most iconic rogues galleries in DC.
Yeah, I getcha.
Yeah.
Superman might have a handful like Brainiac and Parasite And exactly.
Oh, wait, hold on. Lex Luthor.
And Lex Luthor.
There are 3.
But Lexi is the villain
Flexi
for like
Lexi,
half
that's
of
awesome.
DC, okay?
He could have at least like made a character that was vastly different. Like I can think of one off the top of my head. It's artificial intelligence.
Somebody magic based.
Somebody magic